Do you think he'll recover?
I don't know. It's too soon to say. We should let him rest.
There are thousands of bodies piling in the streets.
He's been very feeble for weeks. He can't get up. He doesn't speak. Do you think we should call a doctor?
Call a doctor? Here?
You're right. Let's just hope he wakes up one of these days. Come on, my friend. Hang on. Don't give up.
Huh. It's a cool opening.
Wake up, Michael. Come on, you have to wake up.
What's happening? What is this place?
What is this place? Please, tell me.
Please, Michael, wake up. Wake up.
This silence. This darkness. Where am I? Damn it. I can't remember. Who are you? Who's there?
Michael, please wake up. You have to wake up.
Michael? Is that my name? Please tell me where I am. I can't remember anything.
What choice I'll pick this time?
Where are you? Where are you hiding?
Wake up, Michael. Please wake up. Wake up now.
Don't go! Please! Come back! Come back! This silence. This darkness. This emptiness.
Ooh, Act 1, a camp full of rats.
Good morning. I hope you're feeling better.
But...
Now don't be alarmed. I'm glad you feel strong enough to get out of bed. That's wonderful news. I must say you're looking much better, considering what you've been through, of course.
Who are you?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive my manners. You've been with us for so long that I forgot that you don't know who we are. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rod Atkinson. I was the director of the Municipal Property Registry before, well, you know, before the world collapsed on us.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Atkinson. But... where am I? What is this place?
You are in what I venture to call our home. Our humble, hopefully temporary home. This is one of the many trailers that make up the refugee camp. And believe me, we can consider ourselves lucky to live between these four walls. Most of the inhabitants of this hellhole, excuse my crude language, have nothing more than plastic tarps and cardboard for shelter.
Wait a second. Did you say refugee camp?
Yes, of course. The Facility for Temporary Accommodation of Disaster Victims is what they called it. You know, after the army declared martial law following the catastrophe. You look a little confused, if you don't mind my saying so. Do you really not know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I'm afraid not. Let me ask you.
Yes, of course. I think we owe you an explanation. A few days after the Great Wave, we found you lying in a ditch near the airport. You were badly injured and unconscious. We couldn't just leave you there. Someone had already stolen your luggage and identification. It was awful. So we decided to take care of you ourselves and brought you here. You've been with us ever since. By the way, I should tell you that when we found you, your clothes were ripped to shreds, so we threw them away. The clothes you're wearing now are mine. You'll find more things in that wardrobe. If you need anything, just help yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Atkinson. But... the Great Wave?
Well, what would I be talking about? That damned, excuse my language, explosion that brought ruin to all of us. The origin of this filthy new world that now seems to be our permanent reality. But do you really not remember? Do you really not remember anything about all this?
I feel a little weak and dizzy, Mr. Atkinson. Excuse me. I'm afraid I can't. I can't remember a thing.
I see. There have been many cases like yours in the camp. Try to rest and not to get too agitated. Well, there's one thing I can tell you. You can consider yourself fortunate. There's nothing nice to remember about recent times.
You said with us. Who else?
Ah, yes, of course. I still haven't properly introduced my family to you. Now is a bad time, but I promise to make proper introductions later. My wife and I sleep in the other room, and, well, little Colin sleeps with us.
Colin?
Yes, Colin is our only child. Our one ray of hope since the catastrophe. I'm going to confess something to you. Colin is the only reason my wife and I still struggle to keep going in this new world. We would have given up a long time ago if it weren't for him.
Of course. I understand. So that was your wife's voice that woke me up a few minutes ago, right?
My wife? No, that's impossible. My wife has been with me in the other room the whole time. We haven't come out of there for hours. But I'm glad you're feeling better and are fully conscious now. I guess we could say you've been reborn. And although the circumstances aren't the best, simply being alive nowadays is practically a luxury. So, welcome to our home.
From what you've told me,
No, please. You don't have to thank us. We just did what we had. It's our moral obligation to uphold the ethical principles of civilization in this new world. But call me Rod, please. And, well, we also did it for Colin, you see. What kind of future does he face if we accept that it's every man for himself, that no one cares about anyone else? It's a terrifying prospect, don't you think? We're just doing whatever we can to avoid that future, that's all.
Rod! Rod!
Please excuse me, but I have to leave you now.
No, wait, please. What's happening? Don't go yet.
I'm sorry, I understand that you have a lot of questions to ask me, but now isn't the time. Believe me, I promise to answer each and every one of your questions in peace and quiet later. Sorry, but I have to go.
Rod, please, quickly!
Okay, all right.
Now that you're feeling better, you can go out and take a walk around the camp. But please, be very careful out there. The world you knew before is gone. Heed my warning, don't touch anything. Don't talk to anyone, and don't get mixed up in anything. At least until someone explains to you how things work in this new world the Great Wave left us. Everything has changed so much out there.
All right. Thanks for the advice.
Ah, one more thing before I go. You've been with us for quite a while now, and we don't even know what to call you. What is your name?
My name? Michael. My name is Michael.
Very pleased to meet you, Michael. We'll talk again later, I promise.
Oh, that was too long
Michael.
of a conversation.
That's what that disembodied voice called me. That must be.
Oh,
Wake up, Michael. That's all she said. Leaving me in this immense void where I can't remember anything. Great wave? New world? Refugee camp? But what the devil could have happened out there? I think it might be a good idea to go out there and take a look.
alright. Do we get to... Oh, point and click adventure. Let's go to the wardrobe.
Impossible. It's locked. I'm afraid my host forgot to unlock it before he left.
I guess we'll go outside and take a walk around the camp.
Good God. What the hell happened here? Rada was right. I don't know what hit this place. But whatever it was, it struck into its very foundations, without any mercy whatsoever. What's happening now?
You better hide, dude. Don't you know that it's dangerous to show your face when the cleanup brigades come into the camp? You're new here, aren't you?
Yeah, you could put it that way.
Well, welcome to your new home. I'm Hank, but everyone calls me the Hunter.
I'm Michael. But what's going on up there?
Nothing, Mike, just routine. The cleanup brigades are taking away a sick person, a dissolved. You know how it is, just doing their job. Ironically, that house belongs to one of the camp moles. Those traitorous scumbags.
Brigades, dissolved, moles. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't remember anything.
Oh, I see, you're a blankhead. Well, you better get up to speed real quick if you want to survive here, Mike. Find me if you need help, dude. I can get you whatever you need. Doesn't matter where it is, how fast it runs, or where it tries to hide. That's why they call me the Hunter.
All right. I'll remember that.
Come back here! Don't take her away! Don't you know who I am? Come back here!
They shot that poor man in cold blood. But why did they do that? Hey, Hank? I'm afraid he's gone. But what's happening? What is this? What the hell's going on here? Good God. I think I'm starting to lose my mind.
Well, suppose we can go talk to this homeless man.
Ouch! Damn it! This vacant lot is full of trash and broken glass. I managed to rip open the sole of my foot in a rusty nail.
Hey, it's not a good idea to walk around barefoot in this enormous trash heap. You won't get very far without shoes.
Yeah, thanks for the tip.
The tip is yours to keep. But if you come near my things, you're a dead man. Understood? Wait, I recognize you. Aren't you the guy Rod's been taking care of in his trailer all this time?
Yes, I am. Do you know Rod?
Of course I do. Everyone in the camp knows Rod. You owe him your life. Don't doubt that for a second. Nowadays, no one in his right mind would do what he did for you. For a total stranger.
Yes, I'm very grateful to him. But tell me, can I ask you a few questions? I've been hearing about an enormous explosion. The Great Wave. What on earth are they talking about?
What kind of question is that? Where have you been all this time? Sleeping in a cave?
Well, you could say that.
The Great Wave is the reason we're confined here like animals. The entire world went to hell in a handcart that day, and we went with it.
That guy's voice.
I've been able to see that with my own eyes.
Nice. Can you tell
me anything else?
Okay, I'll tell you what I know. The Great Wave hit us one Friday afternoon right out of the blue. I remember it perfectly because I'd just come out of an important meeting at that precise moment. I'd made a lot of money from a very fat contract. Yes, sirree, Bob. Very, very fat. First, we felt the ground quaking, as if a volcano was about to erupt right under our feet. I had to get out of my car and run. Then came the explosions. Glass broke. Buildings toppled. And then for weeks, the stench of corpses rotting in the streets. In just a few hours, that damn Great Wave set us all, with our businesses, our money, and our convertibles, straight back to the Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages?
Of course! Are you surprised? In a matter of minutes, we were left with no electricity, no water, no communications. And after the initial chaos, the dissolved started to show up. And that horrible gash opened up in the sky. That stupid breach up there that no one in this hellhole has bothered to explain to us. The fact is that the remains of the old system only held up for a few weeks. And through the cracks, what you see around you started seeping in.
The new world, right?
Yes, indeed. You catch on fast. The New World Day. Welcome to the future, son. Not exactly the way you pictured it, huh?
Confined? Do you mean we can't leave the refugee camp?
Refugee camp. I've always found that term amusing. It seems like things on the other side of the fence work a little better. But here, look around you. Does this look like a refugee camp? It's an army detention camp, and you're a prisoner. Once you come in here, you lose everything, even your name. To them, you're nothing more than a rat. Just another camp rat. You'd never be able to get through the gate, especially if you don't know anyone or don't have any contacts on the outside. Doesn't matter who you might have been before the old world collapsed. Believe me, I speak from experience. If you're just a camp rat, I'm afraid the only way out of here is feet first. I don't know if you get my meaning.
Of course I do. Thanks for your encouraging words.
You can keep the words, but come near my things and you're a dead man.
This shooting. Could you explain to me what just happened here?
Explain what, exactly? That show the cleanup brigades put on? Someone got too chatty and ratted out a sick person, that's all. There's usually a pact of silence in the camp. No one likes to see one of their own in those ambulances. But in this case, the dissolved was a relative of one of the camp moles. Ironic, isn't it?
But they shot a man.
Yes, so they did. So what? The price of human life has gotten a lot cheaper lately. That needn't surprise anyone these days.
Did you say dissolved?
Let me give you a piece of advice about them. Even if they don't give you that deadly disease or drive you crazy, you saw it with your own eyes. They don't even risk...
A camp mole?
A spy. A stool pigeon. And so they pay some of the inhabitants to feed them information. Who comes in? Who goes? They're scumbags, but very well-paid scumbags. And they have certain privileges. Never trust a mole. They'll do anything to hang on to the favors the army gives.
Okay.
You're welcome. But stay away from the shopping cart.
Well, I'll be going on my way. Good luck to you, pal.
Just be sure to stay away from my things.
Time has left these hinges bent and rusted. There's no way I'm going to be able to break open this door with my... No. With my foot, I think it would be better to go back inside the trailer and try to take... It's no use. It won't open. I heard Rod bolt it from inside. It's no use. Well, look at that. When I pulled back the sheet, part of it got torn on the spring sticking out of the bed frame. I hope Rod doesn't notice. There's a very worn old notebook hidden under the lid. The cover is cracked. It looks like someone stashed it here some time ago. It's an old accounting ledger that still has a few blank pages left, almost all its pages, and leaving it inside the oven in the trailer. It's no use. I'm not going to snuff out this oil lamp. No. I think it would be better to go back inside the trailer and try to take... A depressing sight. A damp mattress. This is the bed where I've been convalescing all this time. The bed frame under the mattress is so battered, turned into a very sharp protruding object. This oil lamp is the room's only source of light, like in a dream. I can hear people whispering, the same one. With the glass in the door broken, and that thick coating of grease, I doubt anything's been baked in this. A pile of frying pans, plates, and dirt. Ugh. It's an unframed snapshot, stuck directly on the wall of the room. 2 adults and a child, smiling at the camera. This oven is empty. There's nothing left in there that can interest me. The old closet Rod told me about. It's funny. With the glass on the door, like a photo ripped into little pieces. I can hear people whisper. The same one who made a pile of frying pans. Ugh, this place. It's a bit dented. It was used to cover a very large roasting pan. In fact, it still has. I don't see anything here that could be covered. The oil lamp is the only... Better not fool with it. Better not. The squeak of the protruding bed... Use this here? How? If I want to open... I don't see anything here that could be covered. I don't think I'd gain anything by... Can I ask you a few...
I'll answer.
Tell me about...
Well, I don't know him very well, but they say... Did you know that before coming here, he was someone, but they're not good enough to get that...
Stupid dude.
Well, you know how. He has helped a lot of people, and I reckon that he's too weak for the...
You said he had a son.
Yes, Colin. I haven't seen that...
I don't know. I still haven't seen...
Well, I'm glad he's not anywhere near me.
Well...
Just be...
A supermarket shopping cart full of plastic bags. This individual, who looks like a bum, never takes his eyes off it, and the swarm of insects fluttering around. I'd better hold on to it. I'm afraid there's already weight.
Hey, you! Don't even think of putting your... Stay away from my stuff!
Okay, calm down. The half-scrap remains of a sports car that looks like a... But now, That's Rod's wife. I heard her calling him from the other side of that door. She looks worn out with those dark circles under her eyes. She looks like she hasn't slept in days. That must be little Colin, Rod's son. Was that him I heard moaning in pain inside the trailer? Rod seems upset and worried. From here, it looks like one of those metal boxes for... I'd say that it's been reused. It's hard to see clearly through all the grime on this glass. On the other side is the room where Rod and his family have locked themselves away. The ground in this lot is full of trash, scrap metal. If you want to avoid problems, the enormous trailer that serves as a home for Rod and his family. I find it hard to imagine this heavy old monstrosity. Someone improvised a bonfire. Although the smoke starts to irritate, it seems like the only heat... Impossible. I'm afraid my host forgot. It's an unframed snapshot. Two adults and a child smiling at the camera. A pile of Ugh. The mattress still shows. I must have been lying on it. This oven is empty. There's nothing left. I don't see anything here. afraid I can't. I'd only end up scratching. I just don't see it. It's difficult to find a different. The oil lamp is the only. Better not fool with. I took it out of here. It doesn't look like it's having any effect. This wardrobe isn't mine. I better not leave anything inside. I just don't see it. It's difficult to find. I don't quite see how I could. Time has left these. There's no way I'm going to be able to. Use this here? How? I don't think that's a good idea. On a piece of junk that doesn't even have any time. If I want to use something with it, maybe I should get closer to that window. I don't think I'd gain anything by using this. I prefer to hold on to it. I think this will be. I'm not going to snuff out this oil. Let's see. I could swear that the lid is just the right size for this drum. Perfect.
Damn it! What's going on? This damn shithole!
I'll have to do this quickly. Well, let's see what we have here.
Damn it! What's going on?
Ugh. I don't see anything but... Wait a minute. It seems like there's a... What the hell is this guy doing with so much plastic money?
They mean to kill us all. That's what they want.
Let's see if I can do this. Good. The mechanism gave way in the first try, but the car is trashed. For my sake, I hope that guy outside... Not just yet. It won't take more than a few hours for the wound on my foot to turn really ugly. White, folded, with a scent of fabric softener, but this pillowcase is the... A high-proof whiskey. The bottle was hidden in Rod's... I suppose that despite his apparent strength, that man... Okay, let's see how well this protruding bed spring can cut. I'll use a little of what's in the bottle to soak the bandages. This wardrobe isn't mine. Putting these bandages on this would... I'm afraid I can't do... A handful of bandages soaked in scotch. I guess I just came up with a homemade antiseptic. Putting these bandages on this wouldn't help me at all. This wardrobe isn't mine. I bet. Here goes. I'll use the bandages on my foot. Let's pray this improvised remedy doesn't lead to...
What bastard put a lid on the drum? You tried to...
I think that guy out there just discovered the reason for it.
Some coward in this shithole. Who was it? Who was it? Come back here.
Did you hear that noise, Rod?
I don't know. I think it's that poor drunk who's always hanging around the trailer. He's kicking up a fuss again. It's a good thing poor Colin can't...
Don't ever say anything like that again, Rod.
I'm sorry, honey. I wasn't thinking. What are you doing here? Get out of here! You've no business being in this room!
Rod, I'm sorry. But what...
Get out of here, Michael! You didn't see anything. Excuse my outburst, Michael. I shouldn't have behaved that way. It's not like... It's just that I can't stand to see Colin suffer this way.
Away?
It's no use trying to hide it. You're bound to find out, and the authorities claim his illness is...
Highly contagious? The dissolve?
Michael! I won't... Yes. Colin caught that damn disease.
And what exactly...
I don't know, Mike. The only news is what the army brings us. They say the disease is highly contagious, and it's up, but no one has ever come back after being carried off in one of those...
Yes, of course I understand.
They say that all the victims are condemned, that at the end of their suffering and their trances, I think that even the army is afraid of the victims. Things you wouldn't believe.
What things happen?
Strange things. In their trances, they go places, Michael. They bring back information. They know things. They talk to people who are no longer... And we've been living like this for weeks. The things that are happening...
Talking to the dead? Jesus. This man's nerves are But how did Colin get...
We don't know. No, the only thing we know is that the disease appeared after the catastrophe, and that it...
So the Great Wave brought the dissolved with it?
Yes, but don't use that word again. Not in this house, anyway. It's so cruel and disrespectful. In effect, that's the only thing we know for sure about all this
What's happening to Colin is terrible.
Well, Michael, you can help us. I'm convinced that our
But you said yourself that all the...
No, all is not lost. It seems that in the city, on the other side of the fence, the victims have access to a drug. But we can't get it here. And my contacts out there.
So there's a drug that can cure them?
Yes, but they say that and so it's reserved for city dwellers who can afford to pay for it. Get us that drug, Michael. I beg of you, please. Colin's time is running out.
Getting involved looks dangerous.
Infection? Are you afraid for your life? Without our help, you'd be dead right now. Dead. What's more, I could help you in return. I could help you get back what you...
Give me back what I lost?
I know the essential part, Michael.
Blankhead?
A blankhead is a person with no... It seems that the Great Wave had an enormous neurological impact on certain people, Michael. You're not the only one, or even the worst case. There are people who even forgot how to talk. Some ended up dying of starvation. They forgot what food looked like, how to chew it. You can consider yourself lucky. The natural recovery process is slow. Listen to me, Michael. It's just a shadow. I still have some contacts out there. I was an important man in the municipal government. I could trace your name, your data I could restore your whole life in the blink of an eye. But please, help us.
I'm grateful for your help, Rod.
Listen to me, Michael. We know that it's possible that in fact, my wife and I have everything prepared for when he leaves us. Our child is the only thing that keeps us holding on in the new world. So if there is even the slightest chance of please, Michael. For God's sake, listen to him. He's just a child.
Rod, come in here, quickly!
Bring us that cure, and we'll help you get your life back. Colin is our only hope in this new world. Help us save our future. Goodbye, Mike.
No, Rod, wait! Bring a drug? Is he out of his mind? That man wants me to put his... I can barely remember who I am. When I probably... But Rod was right. He offered to help me get my life back. My memories, to get that drug. Wait a minute. Before leaving, I should write down everything important I find out in this notebook. It might come in handy if, as Rod says, I'm one of the blankheads the Great Wave left in its wake. In the distance, you can see the skyline of the city. It doesn't seem that far away. From what people say, things work somewhat better there. Could that be true? A quick glance at these tents is enough to make you realize how forsaken these poor people are, confined against their will. It's the enormous fence around the perimeter of the camp, with surveillance from the towers and on the ground. This barbed wire fence and Hello.
Hello, son. Would you like to get a little closer to the fire?
Thanks, mister. This is a rather isolated part of the camp. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm waiting. That's all. Just waiting.
You're waiting?
Nothing in particular. The usual. The fire to go out, or sun. I'm waiting for something to change, or for everything to stay as it is. I'm just waiting. You're too young to understand.
It's starting to get cold. Where's your tent? Or your trailer?
Yes, I had a tent once. They issued me one when I decided to enter the refugee camp after the Great Wave. The trailer was out of the question. They went to the families with the best contacts. Nah, you know how it is. Even in purgatory, some people are more equal than others.
You say that you decided to enter the camp. Does that mean that people weren't forced to come here?
No, of course not. Why would they have to force us? The catastrophe hit the city hard. In principle, it was temporary, just until the authorities got the situation on. We used to have food, water, and a place to sleep.
But now it's more like a prison camp than...
I don't really know. The new housing they promised us never got built. The food ran out, and then the water supply. Nobody bothered to replace them. Seems like our lives didn't matter anymore.
I see.
In time, things in here started to get very ugly. There were riots without any notice. One day well, actually, people still could enter that. Now, this is where anyone who gets in the way in the city ends up. Or anyone they don't know what to do with.
So, this is a concentration camp.
That's right, son. That's exactly what it is. You know, it's funny. I remember about all the persecution, deportations. That all sounded to us like an old movie. An old horror movie. And look at us now. I guess some things never change. For us to forget about them.
And where's your...
It was stolen from me a while back.
Stolen?
You seem to be new in the camp. These things happen nowadays. It's best to take things as they come. The reality of the new world is very simple, son. The soldiers and the moles do whatever they like on this side of the fence. And the hunter and his men run the black market and all the dirty rackets. I suggest you memorize all this.
The hunter? I've exchanged a few words with him, but I hardly know him. Yes. The man who protected me during all the shooting. He seems like someone with good connections and some answers. Could he know anything about the drug for treating the dissolved? Do you know where I can find him?
You can find him in those barracks at the back. Now, the hunter is very dangerous. Watch your step around him and his men. I happened to meet his father when he was young. He was a and I'm afraid his son has...
Let's talk about... So tell me.
I'm sorry, son. The only way to get out of this, or to become a camp mole. Those
I see.
I'm not surprised you want to get out of this shithole. You know, well, they say things are better in the city. That there's... But who knows? Well, at least they have Reverend Blake and the consolation of Suicide Park.
Suicide Park? What's that?
Nah, just a song that drifts into the refugee camp from the other side of the fence now and then. We could sit and count them when the sun departs from Suicide Park. I'm sure you still have some hopes, some dreams.
Who's
He's a preacher, sometimes comes from the city. Now, some people make jokes about him, but many of us believe that he's a prophet. You should hear him speak sometime. His words etch themselves deeply into your soul. That's why he has so many followers.
Changing the subject. I should be going on my way. Have a pleasant wait, mister. The cheerful patrons of the bar. I suppose the gray substance one of them is sipping is liquor, but I can't tell what kind. I don't think he can either.
What are you having, pal?
Nope, I'm afraid.
That's no problem here. We don't only accept cat, we accept anything of value.
Interesting place.
No, pal, don't get the wrong idea. This belongs to the hunt, like every other business enterprise here inside the camp. He's the head honcho.
I see. What do you sell here?
Anything you can eat or drink. Anything that fits into a box or a bottle. For other types of goods, talk to the hunter directly. What do you need? Liquor?
At the moment, I don't need anything like that, but I'll keep it in mind. Thank you. I saw a bunch of barrels stacked up at the...
Nothing. Just some things that need to be... Take my advice, pal. Keep your nose out of the hunter's business if you want to keep it on your face.
Okay.
Mike, my friend, it's nice to see you again. Guys, this is my friend Mike. He's new around here. We met at one of the cleanup brigade's latest parties. Isn't that right, dude? Pull up a seat and have a drink. We like to be hot.
Something tells me I shouldn't accept that drink. Not anymore. No thanks, I don't drink.
Okay, Mike. Whatever you say. At least, not in my own establishment. So tell me, what brings you here?
A friend of mine is in a bad way. I need to know if there's a drug that can help the dissolved.
A friend of yours, huh? Do I know this person?
No.
I see. Well, look, dude, I've heard something about that cure, but I don't know if it's true. Sometimes desperation leads to wishful thinking. You know how it is. But if that drug exists,
Where?
There's a small medical center on the outskirts of the city. It's more like a pharmaceutical warehouse, but it's heavily guarded. I bet my bottom dollar that's where they keep anything that valuable. Maybe you should take a look at that building, if you can find a way out of this hellhole, that is. And I can't help you with that. You know I like you, dude. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stay away from those untouchables.
Tell me.
That's a good question. You know my real name is Hank, but no one calls me that anymore. Now I'm the hunter, because I can find you what you want, when you want. The new world gave me a
new life?
Yeah, a new... But I think in a way, you and I are similar, Mike. That's why I like... It was the Great Wave. The Great Wave that changed. The old world was a messy, complicated, and unjust place. When all the old laws disappear, you gotta do what you... And that's the universal law that puts...
You gotta do what you gotta do. Sounds like a handy way to justify anything, and even the indefensible. Yes, Hank. I follow you perfectly.
I knew it. I knew you'd get it straight off, Mike. But don't call me Hank. I told you.
I should be going now.
Fine, Mike. Remember, dude, here we... No question.
Someone went to all the trouble of taking the hood off an old just to turn it. Someone placed a bunch of those rusty... Ugh. Oh, Jesus. The cocktail... Okay. It's impossible to budge these drums at all.